I have more range than Kristen Stewart in my singing than I do in her acting. I guess that's just, we're just setting the tone for this video. What's up and welcome back to my channel. Today I have another movie review, but this is a quarantine movie review. It's different. Basically what that means is I'm in the house and I ain't going nowhere. So movies that I'm watching now are movies that I wanted to see in theaters, or I was interested maybe in seeing it in theaters and it just never ended up happening. And so now I'm sitting here watching them all day on Amazon Prime. And today's movie review is gonna be Charlie's Angels that came out in 2019. Kristen Stewart, Naomi Scott, Ella Balinska, Elizabeth Banks, Patrick Stewart. Love a white boy with a two first name. Noah Centineo and White Girl Twitter. Y'all go up for him. Y'all wanna share a milkshake with one straw with him real bad. And then Digimon Zhao. Ooh. Homeboy from Barbershop that was playing the piano and he had the ancient spears in his closet. This is another Charlie's Angels movie. You know, we have the 1 and the 2 with the iconic Cameron Diaz, Drew Barrymore, Lucy Liu, you know, and they just set the tone for the series, you know? And so this new one didn't quite. Let me just give you what the internet wants to call it, because I don't use my own words yet. Elena is a scientist, engineer, and inventor of Callisto, a sustainable energy source that will revolutionize the way people use power. Think about like maybe like a Google Home or like Echo, but with some bop in it. But then the cutting edge technology falls into the wrong hands. Elena turns to the Townsend Agency, which didn't even know Charlie's Angels, didn't even know that like they had like, y'all got HQ, like y'all got offices. Turns to Townsend Agency for help, and now it's up to the Angels, Jane, Sabina, and newly recruited Elena to retrieve Callisto before it is transformed into a weapon of mass destruction. They had like an iPhone, but that shit was like way too upgraded, and they were like, you know what? This can probably off some niggas. And they were like, oh no, we gotta stop him. From the moment this movie began, I hated it. It started off with a hand job. Well, it was like a toesy foot, like a hand job, but like what a big toe. It started up with this scene with Kristen Stewart trying to be femme, trying to coerce this man and get some information about him. And then, you know, we obviously know that this is a setup where the Angels did this often, right? They would use their sensuality, use their sexuality, use their looks to get things from stupid men who don't see them as a threat, not knowing that they can whoop all the ass, right? And here's the thing about this new Charlie's Angels, right? It's like if depression was a movie. And the reason why I say that is because it just lacked personality. It lacked the aesthetics that we look for. And granted, Charlie's Angels graphics, they were super corny and cheesy with the weird gravity things, and they're like doing one kick and it's all the way across the screen like this. And you know, it was very campy. It was very colorful. The saturation, I just remember watching those movies and the saturation was all the way up on those movies. But the thing about the Charlie's Angels movies that still worked was the fact that you had these 3 very iconic characters. You had Lucy Liu, who was the bad bitch of the group. You had Cameron Diaz, who was like the bubbly, fun one. You had Drew Barrymore, who was a top. And that was the whole trinity, you know what I mean? The holy trinity that we live for and that we stand for. The fight scenes were always amazing. The costumes, you want to talk about commitment. The costumes were a moment. Every single costume was a moment. That Swedish, Danish, I don't know, the issues. They were in drag. The wigs, Lucy Liu in red hair. But come on now. They were all very good at what they did. Yes, they all had very distinct personalities, but they gelled very well together. And at the end of the day, they were all just crime fighting, smart ass, like HTML knowing ass bitches. You know what I'm saying? The thing that I didn't understand, that I did not like, well, there's a few things. So the first thing that I did not like, they weren't in solidarity. And really, they weren't even really a Charlie's Angels group until the very very end of the movie because this one girl, she was like new, she was fucking stuff up. So the girl who helped engineer the product that they are now trying to get back, she gets initiated at the end of the movie, and so really they don't even really become Charlie's Angels until the very end of the movie. Low key, the black girl was doing all the work. I mean, are you surprised? But like, the black girl was doing all the work. That scene in the trailer where she was leaning out the car and just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that was tight. But like, all the rest of the scenes were very much giving comic book kick pow pow. Like, it just was very lackluster. The choreography was just very much like, it just wasn't giving. It just wasn't giving. You know, the last Charlie's Angels, the way it was directed, the way it was shot, these bitches were falling out of planes. They were falling from bridges. They were literally walking out of the pits of hell. I just don't know what to say. Just the new Charlie's Angels was like, I really just want to talk about Kristen Stewart for a second. Because Kristen Stewart was clearly the big draw for this movie. She was the only, other than Naomi, because I believe she was in like Aladdin before this, or was that after this movie? I think it was before. You would just think though that like if you're gonna have like one actor be the big draw of a movie, it would be like a good one. Kristen Stewart is the G-Eazy of actors. And listen, I like Twilight. Do I know it's corny and poorly written? Yes. But did I like it anyways? Yes. Did I get my feelings anyways? Yes. Kristen Stewart in Twilight was very much giving, I mean, I want to wish you had worked. That's what she did the whole movie, and I would have liked for her acting to have improved since then, but it just hasn't. And what I don't understand is like, I feel like Hollywood picks certain people out to us who aren't really that good at whatever it is they're supposed to be doing, but then they really try to sell us on it. Kristen Stewart is one of those people. Beautiful, big eyes. Love her short sleeve button ups. A Toyota Corolla with 400,000 miles has more range on it than Kristen Stewart. The costumes in this movie were very much giving Party City. They were very much giving Instagram filter. This was the costume, y'all. Jade right now, right? Jade Fox here. Now I'm Danny Lay. And there's nothing you can say. What do you mean? I'm not Jade. I'm singer-songwriter, professional Instagrammer, Danny Lay. Want to see me twerking some Pumas? I get what they were trying to do with this film. Like, they were trying to make it relatable, trying to like, you know, let's take this girl who's a scientist and a freaking nerd and like put her in a situation with these other two girls who know who will be fighting and stuff, and then maybe she can get initiated and become one of us. But it was like, no, when I go see a Charlie's Angels movie, I want to see all three of you. I want y'all to already be good. I don't want to see y'all in training. I don't want to see watered down versions of this. I don't want to see like Charlie's Angels orientation. Like, I want to see Charlie's Angels full throttle. Like, I want to see you whooping ass. I want to see all the costumes. Like, I just need to see the unit in solidarity, and that's not what happened in this film. And I'm sad about it. I was genuinely sad about it because I thought that there was maybe it could have been good. It could have been good. I feel like they had the tools to make it good. Elizabeth Banks directed the movie, and Elizabeth Banks is hilarious, and there was funny moments in this movie brought to you by Kristen Stewart. And then it had the nerve to be 2 hours long, and I just feel like only really good movies are allowed to be 2 hours long. Because the fact that that's like the relationship that you were into for too long. And so it's like, whereas most people would be like, oh my God, you were together for 10 years? That's great. That's such a long time. Like, not a lot of people can make it 10 years. But like, because the relationship was shit, it just felt like jail. Like you were in jail for 10 years. And, I just feel like only movies with goblins and goblets and hey ass like gnomes and shit can be 2 hours long. Like, Tyler Perry had the nerve to make it a movie, making A Fall from Grace 2 hours long. I just wanted better. I expected better. I'm lying. The writing was an afterthought. At a scale of like 1 to 10 pairs of sweatpants, because like I said, this is quarantine movie review, and I've been wearing sweatpants every day. I don't even remember the last time my thighs have felt denim. If I was to give this movie a score from 1 pair of sweatpants to 10 pairs of sweatpants, I would give it 4 pairs of sweatpants. And honestly, probably just because of the big toe foot job at the beginning. Started off with a bang. Started off with a bunion. Should I do this little combo? I also watched Midsommar. I had no idea what this movie was. Like, when you look at the trailer, when you look at the poster for this movie, you don't really know what the hell you're about to watch. It honestly kind of looks like an engagement photo shoot. Most of this movie, it's just all in the fields. It's a lot of white people. Like, it's a lot. I want to say only white people. Chidi's in the movie, and he's the only black guy. He does die. But we already knew that. When the movie began, I can tell that it was gonna go down a culty route, because I just feel like when you have like a cornucopia of Caucasians in a field, there's definitely some culty shit going on. It's too many Karens in the place. And honestly, whenever you see like a big group of white people and they're all wearing white, it's always trouble. If you see a big group of black people and they're all wearing white, they're going to a day party. So this was one of those cult movies where college kids, and I don't know what it is with college kids in horror movies, because college kids in horror movies are always like taking an expensive trip, and I'd be like, how y'all have all this money taking abroad trips and stuff? They go to a cabin, they go on a retreat, they go on a spring break, and then something happens. So this was a cult movie. A bunch of college kids go to, is it Sweden? Sweden. To visit their friend's rural hometown for its fabled Midsummer festival. But then, as you know, some crazy shit happens. They had this one guy, and he like put on people's faces. Y'all know Hitch, when he had that allergic reaction and he was singing the reason, and he was walking around with Avril Longoria, and his face looked like a bath bomb, like that. They had one of those, and he was the gotcha man, and he would go around and do all the killings for people and stuff. And they was doing sacrifices, and people was walking off of cliffs onto rocks. I was like, okay. When this movie began, I was like, this movie is like a word math problem. Like, there's too many moving parts. And it's also one of those like movies that just feels like it was directed by Solange. Like, I was just like, sometimes there's just some things, like I'm not an artsy girl. I'm also not a dark person. I don't have a dark soul. And so I feel like there are just some pieces of content that go right over my head because I just was not artsy fartsy enough, or I was just not alternative enough to really understand what's happening. I will say though, the cinematography in this movie was amazing. It was a very pretty movie, and with all the people in white, you almost forgot that they were a cult, and you thought they just came from Brandy Melville. You thought, oh, free people must be having a sale. Oh, okay, go ahead, Becca. But it was like murder, but make it Tumblr. I wish I had more to say, but like I said, I think I was just too stupid to understand it. And I'm not afraid of admitting that. There are just some pieces of content that are just that are just presented within a certain aesthetic, or with a certain like historical context that I don't understand, and therefore, you know, the substance of the movie is completely lost for me. I drink water and stay in the house, so all this shit, I don't really know, bruh. That's my quarantine movie review. I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope that y'all like this video. Go ahead and like and subscribe. We're on our way to 200K. TikTokers, look at me. Subscribe. Look, I'm cool too. I need to stop doing this in every single video. Oh, and check out my merch. I got merch, by the way, too. Click that link. Get you some. All right. See y'all soon. Another one.